meeting. Maggie is going to start recording. And I'll put it in the chat as well. And it is 11 o'clock. So let's get started. Let's see.
You know what
Admit that person.
That plane can land. So you know what Mester is sitting somewhere in Dallas, California.
Somebody has their microphone on. If people can just be aware to mute yourself unless you're talking, or if you're on the schedule to talk, or if you have a question, of course, get yourself off mute. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jenny Carroll. If you haven't seen me before, I'm the interim deputy city manager. Wyatt is on leave through the 10th, March 10th. So I have put the agenda, I dropped it into the chat. And so we'll get started. We're going to do a brief update on the FY25 budget and CIP, then hear from the Social Equity Action Team. I will also give an update on the Employee Survey Action Plan. And Meaghan will also give us an update about the facilitated conversations part of that plan. And then I'll wrap up with talking about the updates to the Enterprise ERP, formerly known as Munis. So to get us started, a brief update on the FY25 budget. So city manager and senior leadership have completed budget discussions. Finance in general. Finance is now preparing budget documents, including department narratives and the budget book. Most departments will receive their budget narratives this week, and then they'll be due back next week, probably between Monday and Wednesday. A presentation will go to council April 1st, and then we have an employee town hall scheduled for April 2nd. Thank you to the EIC for agreeing to move their meeting. Their normally scheduled meeting will not be on the 2nd, it will be on April 9th. So thank you, Charlie and Ripple and EAC members for making that accommodation. And now I'm going to turn it over to Cindy and Caitlin to talk about CIP. Once again, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can also email townhallmeeting@fallschurchba.gov. And I will mute myself. And take it away, Cindy and Caitlin.
Thanks, Jenny. Good morning, everybody. We're excited to be sharing with you all that the CIP is officially out, both in hard form, the notebook I was just showing, and on the website. So I'll put the link in the chat, and I know we'll include that in the follow-up message as well. But we're really excited that it's officially posted, done, and heading to the Planning Commission next week. And I want to thank Caitlin for being the official lead this year. She's not new to working the CIP, but being the CIP coordinator officially, she took the lead and worked with a lot of people. And with that, Caitlin, I'll turn it over to you for a quick update on some details and next steps.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to tell you all that this Wednesday at the Planning Commission, we will be presenting the proposed fiscal year 25 through 30 CIP budget. We'll have a work session this Wednesday, March 6th, and then in 2 weeks after that, we'll go back for the public hearing. The Planning Commission formally recommends the CIP and before it can go to council for adoption. So as of March 20th, we'll have a recommended CIP that Wyatt will then present to council when he does his budget presentation on April 1st. And I just want to thank everyone for their help this year. Cindy and Andy and I, worked with all of the departments and staff to develop a CIP that I feel really good about. And I feel like it aligns with all of the staff priorities and areas of focus that we established late last year when we started the development process. And I feel like it also really aligns with the Planning Commission and the council's priorities that we got their input on last year. So good work, everyone. Also, definitely special thanks to Scarlett and Maggie and Sophie and Sandy for all helping in the development of the binders and posting that to the website. It is available now on the city website at the link that Cindy posted in the chat. And yeah, thank you everyone. Good work. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I look forward to presenting it with Cindy and Andy. Thanks.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Caitlin. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe Carter to give us an update on the Social Equity Action Team. And Joe, I'm going to share my screen because I have the timeline up. Are you there? There's Joe.
I am here. No, awesome. Thank you. I was going to do that, but I appreciate it.
So can everybody see that timeline? Looks
Not
like
yet.
it.
Oh, there it is. I can see it.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. I am handling the duties for Scarlett, who is away for the week. So I'll do my best to live up to her expectations. But I think a few weeks ago, she delivered a timeline for one of our seat initiatives, which was for communication. And we wanted some employee feedback, and she delivered that message. So I'm here to kind of just update where we are. So if you look at the first orange box with the green check mark above it, we have completed that. We received feedback from staff by February 15th. We had 10 employees provide information on how the city can communicate better and more effectively to staff. So we really do appreciate that. And it was a little bit of a variety. It was some that dealt with the whole organization and some that dealt with how we can do things better internally at a few different departments. So either way, we appreciate the feedback. We definitely would, if there's still someone out there who has information they can share with us, by all means, please do that, because we still are accepting information, even though that when you move on to the next red box, Matt and Scarlett, who have been leading this initiative, we met as a seat group on February 22nd, and we went through all of the information that was provided by the 10 employees. So the next steps of where we are, if you look at the blue box with the star above it, seat draft recommendations, seat drafts, recommendations, and presents to employees in March or April town hall and EAC meeting. So right now we're going through as a seat team, looking at things that we can put together to deliver it to the employees based off the 10 recommendations that we got. So ultimately, after we deliver it to the employees in either March or April, we can then take the recommendations to city leadership, which is the city manager's office, directors, constitutional officers, and council appointees. So the whole goal is to, once again, see how we can better effectively communicate within the city, reach those who maybe at times are, don't have the ability to get information as others do, and just be more effective in communication, because we all know that communication is the biggest part of what we do as government workers. So I will stop there to see if anybody has any questions that I can hopefully answer. All righty. I just wanted, and Jenny, I'll finish and I'll just turn it right back over to you. We really want this. Go ahead.
Wait.
Sorry.
So having some questions come in, and
Oh, okay,
one of
cool.
them related to the budget. So I'll follow up with that after
Okay.
this portion. But there was a question: will the department-specific suggestions be shared with the individual departments?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This whole thing, you know, it's transparency, right? We want this to be employee led. That's the avenue of travel that the cities, you know, that we're trying to go. We want employees to have input. We want to know what we can do better as a whole organization, whether it be total or within departmental, framework that how we can communicate better and more efficiently as a whole.
And Marshall said,
Thanks, Marshall.
so let's see, new messages. Can you share some of the suggestions that were given by employees?
Yes, let me see. Jenny, you may be able to help my old mind, but I know that one was, there was one suggestion, how we communicate from resident to employees, and how those employees get that information, and making that more redundant so that there's just not one point of failure when information comes in from residents. Another one was the Chronicle. People really, really like that. I know we're in the process of a transition right now with the public information officer, but that was something that people really, really enjoyed, to see what's going on, new employees, stuff like that. And then with that, there was a suggestion that we would like to communicate onboarding better. So there's a lot of different things and avenues that goes along with onboarding, but being more aware of that and putting people's information out there so that everyone's aware of new employees and maybe some of their background and all of that stuff. So that was a few things. Jenny, I may have missed some other stuff.
Sure. So there were actually 4 questions that got posited by SEAT to employees. And there were some responses that fit underneath each of those questions. So what is the best mode of communication for staff from the employee perspective? What topics would you like to see communication on? How often would you like communication and from whom? And then how can employees participate in improving internal communication? So some of the ones that Joe talked about fell in one of those question buckets. And then there were additional comments made in general that went into a additional comments bucket. But I think Joe captured some of the main ones. And Lonnie said, thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Lonnie.
So are there any other?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I don't think there's any other questions. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Jenny. But I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Scarlett said last time. Really, when we do these types of things moving forward, we want as much information as we can. That's the only way that we get better. That's the only way we move forward as an organization, to get employee-led input, so that we can make those decisions, within seat or at that executive level that best fits your needs. So we're not telling you what you need. You're telling us what really works best for you. So thanks, Jen.
Yep, sure. Thank you, Joe. So before I turned it over to Joe, Henry had asked, would you please provide a quick update on the city's FY 2025 budget, good, bad, or unchanged? So I think the budget process went really well this year amongst department directors. So I think that part is good. I don't know that there was anything bad. There's probably some things that are unchanged. And Wyatt will have more particulars on the budget in the presentation that will be in April 2nd. Because like I said, there's still some stuff that needs to be worked out in the next month or so. However, that presentation will be available to all city staff and Wyatt will also have the employee town hall in which he will go over the budget in detail. So I hope that answers your question. So I will move on to the employee action plan survey update. So I'm going to share my screen again. And so I made this slide last time. And so where we are right now is in delivering, sorry, there we go. We delivered the employee satisfaction survey results, and we are currently in bullet number 2 and 3, so holding facilitated conversation groups, and Meaghan DeCelle is going to update us on that process, and then process information from groups and surveys. So the employee survey and cultural assessment action plan is in my wheelhouse as the interim deputy city manager for internal operations. And so that is really a bullet kind of directed at myself to process all the information that we've received so far and put it into a format for myself as we move forward. So getting all that information and what kinds of information or what kind of products would come out of that to be sent citywide. So, and then the bullet after that, hold employee and leadership prioritization work groups. That will really happen after the facilitated conversation groups meet and the facilitators provide their assessment as well. So I am going to turn it over to Meaghan to talk a little bit about the facilitated conversation groups. I will stop sharing my screen. And once again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can send them to town hall meeting and I can pick them up there. So thank you, Meaghan.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Jenny. So as Jenny said, we're in the second 2 bullets there. And coordinating with an outside party and 3 very busy inside parties can always be a challenge, but we're working our best on that. So quickly, we have 3 dates really, for next steps. March 22nd, the 3 certified facilitators are going to have a recap, basically. It's going to be a full day DEI&B assessment training because we're all a little rusty. We haven't actually facilitated in a few months. So that'll be myself, Joe Carter, and Nikki Weismiller, and also the 2 other employees, Caitlin Sobsey and Herb Holmes, who have not yet gotten certified, but they've been doing the coaching and they're going to get certified soon. And so that has to happen on March 22nd so that we'll be ready for these very important facilitated conversations, which will take place on April 11th and 12th. Specific times are still to be decided. Whether it's totally in person or hybrid is still to be decided. We're working with Chris Armstrong from Veritas Culture to work out all of those details, but save the date for April 11th and 12th. And again, those are the conversations that all employees will be welcome to. We'll have 3, I believe, we'll have 3 different sessions so that everybody will have an opportunity to apply depending on their schedule.
Do we have times yet for the April 11th and 12th dates?
Not yet. We're working with Chris to get those specifics.
Okay.
But it'll be Thursday, April 11th and Friday, April 12th. Varying times, and again, whether it's in person or hybrid is to be determined.
Okay.
And if anyone has any questions about the process, I'd be happy to go deeper into it. I see Marshall's question. Who again were the 2 additional facilitators being trained? Caitlin Sobsey and Herb Holmes. So they've been working with the 3 certified facilitators and all the planning as well, and going through the coaching sessions with Chris and Vince from Veritas. So as soon as they're certified, they'll be able to join our ranks and we'll have some extra bodies. Now, that actually gives me a second to plug this program. We could use more facilitators. We started with a group of 12. And it's an arduous process. I mean, it's intense. You go through coaching, you go through the 3-day DEI&B training, And then you have to study up and take the exam, which is an oral exam from someone at Veritas. And that's an intense process to get to be a certified facilitator. So we're down to 3 certified, 2 working on it, and we could really use a few other people. So if that's something that is on your heart, if you really care about the culture of the City of Falls Church, please reach out to me, because I'd be really happy to get you in touch with Veritas to start the process. It's been a great experience for me personally, and I think my other facilitators would agree. This is an important initiative, and that's why we're being so intentional about it. It's something that I care very much about, and I know that there are others out there who feel the same way. So, any other questions?
Thank you, Meaghan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for the plug as well.
Cool. Well, have a great day.
So I'll give a little bit of time for questions, because I know some came in quickly on the heels of the end of each segment. So I'll just fill the airspace right now until
We can fill the air together.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not seeing any questions, but if you
Okay.
send
Well,
them
let me say
in-
the dates one more time in case people
Yep,
are still
please.
thinking. March 22nd is when the facilitators and those who are still being coached to be facilitators, that's when we'll meet most of the day to get a recap and some more practice for facilitating so that we're ready to go. And then April 11th and 12th, Thursday and Friday, is when we'll have the facilitated sessions. And much more information will come out about this.
Thank you, Meaghan. So to wrap up, a blurb about Enterprise ERP, which is the rebranding, not our rebranding, but Tyler Tech, who is the vendor for that particular software, is rebranding Munis. So it is now called Enterprise ERP. And so moving forward, that's the terminology that'll be used. We are in the testing and training phase of the new version, and our go live date will be May 10th and 11th to be in the new version. Yes, it does roll off the tongue, Jeff. So people who are Munis end users, I've sent one email to all end users. We did have a stakeholder meeting that was a smaller group, and moving forward, we do have a Teams group. If you think that you need to be in that group of end users, please let me know. I probably didn't capture everybody. So, and just as a note, if you are a person who uses any of the financials, so like payroll, requisitions, etc., the finance department will be coordinating those modules in terms of testing and training. So everybody else who uses a module, I think all of those persons have been notified, and I will be continuing to send out emails and information about not Munis, sorry, almost said it, Enterprise ERP moving forward. So with that, does anybody have any questions, or do any of the presenters have anything they want to follow up on? I'll give it a beat or two. Just as a reminder, there is an EAC meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I believe both virtual and in person. And that meeting invite went out, EAC sent that out, so that should be on everybody's calendar as well, along with, they put out an agenda as well. Just want to give the information. So, okay. Maggie will be sending a follow-up email to this meeting with the recording, and also the 2 slides that we had. We'll put those in the email package as well. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, presenters, and everybody have a great day and a great month. Happy St. Patrick's Day, happy March, happy Easter. Happy all the